Hey, what's up, Internet? My name is Matt, and this is the Year of the Kilt, and today is week 12, I think. Yeah, something like that. 11, 12, I don't know. 12. Of my kilted shenanigans. Wearing the kilt every day, and so far, so good. This last weekend, I was out at this sort of volunteer cleanup event, and I wanted to just talk about the benefits of being the only guy in a kilt where, not everybody knows everybody or nobody knows anybody. We had 50 people at this event. We were cleaning up trash. Maybe I'll post a link in the description to that. And, everybody's in their outdoor hiking, whatever gear. And I was in a kilt and my usual cowboy hat, which I never wear for these videos for whatever reason. It's not like a cowboy hat. It's like an Indiana Jones hat. And you introduce yourself to somebody once when you're wearing a kilt, and usually that's as many times as you have to bother. Everybody recognizes, oh, Matt, kilt, done, sold. And so everybody knew my name, but everybody else kind of looks the same. They're all in their hiking gear, their shoes, their whatever, and I had a really hard time remembering their names. I just suck at names in general. But because I was in a kilt and I was the only one there doing that, it was really easy for them to remember who I was and to feel, ask me questions, which actually led to me being sort of this figure in charge somehow, which was kind of interesting because I totally did not organize this event, and yet everybody knows who I am, so they all come to me with their questions, comments, concerns, and whatever, which was kind of a fun experience and kind of a little weird at the same time. The same thing happens at like random networking events. If you go to like a professional networking event, or if you're just down at the pubs, whatever, you introduce yourself to somebody and they immediately know your name, and for the rest of the night they know your name, and they're paying attention to what you've got going on, and they're watching you, and they're hanging out with you because they know who you are. At first I think I found that weird that it would just instantly happen like that, and people can really easily associate who you are with the kilt because you're probably the only one doing it. And now I kind of like it. It's an easy way to not have to keep reintroducing myself. It's like, oh yeah, we talked 2 weeks ago. It's like I walk into a building somewhere, or I go to an event, and it's like, oh, you're Matt, you're the guy in the kilt. It's like, yep, that's that's me. I don't know, just interesting. And I was wondering if any of you guys have experienced something like that, where you're walking around town and everybody knows that you're the kilt guy, and so they all know your name and they all know what you do and where you work and that kind of stuff. Just curious. I have a special interesting surprise. I was contacted by a kilt maker and who's interested in working with me on developing a new kilt or something of that nature, so that should be cool. I don't want to spoil the surprise yet, but I will. I'll let you guys know when I've had a chance to look at the new product and review it a little bit, and we'll get that out to the world whenever it happens. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, so probably by the next 4 weeks or so, we'll have another kilt to look at and review. And I still have to patch my workman's kilt that's got that hole in it from a couple blog posts ago. Where you can see like, a surprisable amount of my upper thigh. So I'm going to try and see if I can figure out a way to patch that without it looking super ghetto. Because you can't just sew the hole together anymore. It's too frayed. And I know nothing about sewing. Every time I sew something, it looks really extra ghetto. Like my patches here on the vest are pretty super ghetto, which is cool. I'm into ghetto. That's fine. But on a kilt, I feel like it should look a little nicer. Maybe not. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. So if you've done any kilt repairs very successfully or unsuccessfully, I'd be curious to hear about those, and curious to hear about your experience being the only person in a kilt where everybody suddenly knows who you are throughout town or throughout an event or wherever you are. So, yeah, I think that's what I know. I'm going to sign off for this week, and we'll catch up next week. And maybe talk about camping in a kilt, which is something I do a lot that we haven't really touched on a whole bunch. So until then, I am Matt. This is the Year of the Kilt, and I'll see you guys next week.